Hello and welcome to the Career Change Studio. This is the place to design and create a new working life so that you can live the way that you want and need in your next chapter. I'm Dana Stevens, certified career change coach, and I'm here to help you work out your next career move. I'm going to inspire you to think about this transition in brand new ways so that you can think differently about yourself and what's possible for you. You'll also learn how to build up your belief and self-confidence so that you can finally start taking action. This is about so much more than just getting another job. This is about changing the way you live your life for the better. Hello, I'm so glad you're here today because this episode is going to be super helpful if you're feeling stuck and overwhelmed right now. And this might be you because you're thinking of changing careers, but you just don't know where to start. Here's the good news. I do know where you need to start, and I'm going to share that with you in today's episode of the Career Change Studio podcast. So if this is you, I just want you to know it's okay. It's normal. I promise you it's one of the top things that I hear from my clients before we work together. I don't know where to start. But before I jump in and tell you where you should start or where you can start, I'm just going to point out where you might be starting out instead, because I do see people making some of these common mistakes time and time again. And it might be you too. You might be starting at the end, starting at what I consider the end of the process. So let me explain. The most common error I see is because you're thinking, I need to get a new job. I need to get a new job now, fast, quickly. I need to get out of here. And so your brain jumps straight into job hunting mode. And so you start treating it like just getting any other job, right? And you might be panicking and thinking you must take action straight away and I must do something. And initially, this might look like spending lots of time on LinkedIn, endlessly scrolling for jobs, or on other job sites searching for hours for different types of roles. Or you might be jumping straight into those activities that traditionally help you secure a job, maybe spending hours tweaking your LinkedIn profile or working on your CV. Or typically, most people find that they intend to do that and they don't really get around to it and they're putting it off, they're procrastinating, and they don't really know why. It's because they're not ready to be doing those things yet. It can be easy to distract yourself and tell yourself that you are actually being really, really productive. You might even be applying for lots of jobs, potentially quite random jobs. You might be looking at things and thinking, well, yeah, maybe I could do that. Oh, that might work. So you send out lots of CVs and applications, hoping that you might just get something. You might even be telling yourself that this is all good practice. But here's why this approach does not work. You don't want to just get another job. You want change. So if you really want to make a change, there is no point jumping straight into applying for jobs before you really know what the change is that you're looking for. If you haven't worked out yet what isn't working or what you really want now from a new role or what needs to be different in your life or your work, chances are you're just going to be applying based on what you've done before, what you've tried in the past, or what you know hasn't worked already. So why keep repeating the pattern? These are what I call panic applications. They will not lead you to something new and exciting that's based on where you want to go or who you want to be in the future. And typically, you'll be looking to your past to see what's possible, basing what you think you could do based on your past experience, the skills and experiences that you've done historically, rather than focusing on your future potential, future possibilities. And because you won't be 100% sure that these roles are right for you and feeling confident about the value you might bring to them, this is going to come across in your applications, even subconsciously. And chances are you might not even hear back from most of those applications, let alone get interviews. And the problem is that this just further erodes your confidence, right? And you might even start telling yourself, see, there's nothing out there. I'm never going to get a job. What's the point in all of this? I should just be happy with what I've got. And you'll end up getting even more despondent or lose hope or any motivation you might have had. And then you're more likely to give up and you end up feeling even more stuck, right? So it's important to come back to why you want to change your working life in the first place. So let's remember you want change, and panic applying based on your past will not lead you there. Now, just before I do let you know where I think you should start instead, I just want to say that if this is you, and if this does resonate, if you are jumping straight into job hunting mode, or that's something you have been doing, there is no need to feel bad. Don't blame yourself. Don't feel any judgment. The Career Change Studio, it's a judgment-free zone, okay? And I want you to remember that this isn't about judging yourself and past behaviours. It's okay if you have been jumping to these actions, because chances are this is what you've done in the past when you needed a new job and it probably worked, right? It's just that this time it's different, because this time it's about change. So you need to change your approach as well. So whenever you become aware that you're doing, thinking or feeling something that isn't helping you, we can just be grateful that we now have the awareness, because this leads us to change, right? So we always want to approach this with curiosity and kindness for ourselves. It's never going to be constructive to sprinkle blame and shame over something that we've identified. So now that we have identified this job hunting mode is not the right place to start, let's talk about where we do want to start. You must start with you. Step one is to start with what you really want and need, because you are the one that honestly holds the answers. The key is to start getting really clear on what you personally want and need from this next stage of your life. Getting clear on this criteria for what will make this chapter right for you. The difference that you are really looking for is something that only you know, right? And when you can identify that, that's going to be the foundation for your decision making later on. And if you're thinking, well, that's all well and good, Dana, but I don't know, that's why I'm frustrated, I don't know what I want, then I promise you this is the point that I'm trying to make. You have to spend time figuring this out. You get to dig deep now and get really honest about what it is that you personally want. And one of the things that might be coming up for you is you might notice yourself thinking about what you should do. You know, I should do this, or maybe I should be doing that. And if you catch yourself with those kind of should thoughts, chances are you're worrying about what other people think, or maybe typical expectations in your industry or amongst your peers or your social circles. So just notice that, because those typically are about other people and not what we really want, right? So you really want to take the time and space to tap into who you are today. This is what's really important. I want you to really think about what's different about you now than maybe 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago, or 15 years ago, because you will have changed. And that's okay, and that's normal. And we want to really focus on who you've become now. Because what this really tells us is a lot more about how you want to live in this next chapter. And I really do want you to think in terms of your next chapter and really focus on that, because you absolutely do not have to figure out how the whole rest of your life is going to go, right? You can just concentrate on this next phase, this next chapter, because ultimately our lives, your life, has loads of different phases and chapters. And chances are that they're all going to have different needs and different wants during those different chapters. And that's okay. That's as it's supposed to be as we evolve and grow. So if we're focusing on this next chapter, I want you to start with some non-negotiables, right? I want you to think about, what do I need in terms of money? What do I require in terms of time and flexibility? What do I need to do to protect or improve my physical or mental health? And your answers are going to be really personal to you. They're going to be different from other people's. And that's exactly the point, okay? So I want you to really get clear on what those are. And then you can move on to what you want in this next part of your life. What do you desire? We can often feel quite coy about this, right? Not wanting to express what we actually really want. So if this makes you uncomfortable, this is why you need to spend more time focusing on this, not less. We don't want to shy away from things just because it makes us feel uncomfortable. That is our natural tendency, but I want you to try and push through this, right? Because especially if you focus on other people all the time and you've been taking care of other people and what their wants and needs are, you might not have spent much time recently asking yourself, what do I want? What do I desire? Okay? And it is fine, normal, good, positive to desire things. And if you can't express what you want, how are you going to find those things and secure those things for yourself? So at least start with trying to identify things that you do desire more of in your life. And because this isn't just about getting another job, you want to think holistically about the whole of your life. What do you really want in terms of material things? Make sure you're being really honest about you and what you really want in your life, okay? And what about connections, relationships? What do you really want from those in this next chapter? How do you want to be spending your time? What do you want in terms of intellectual stimulation or personal development or learning or growth? And then the next part is to really start evaluating your skills, your strengths, your personal qualities, and what this could mean for the type of opportunities that could be open to you. And it's not just what you've done so far, but again, you want to be thinking about your potential, because the key is that we stay future focused and allow you to be open to how you could grow and learn and progress and change. This is often how we unintentionally limit ourselves. For some reason, we hit midlife and think, that's it, all our development's done. It's no wonder we often feel so stuck in midlife. But no, I promise you've got plenty of time and scope left to adapt and learn and fulfill your potential. Potential isn't something that you only have when you're young. If you think about what it actually means, it means the capacity that you might have to develop and grow and change into something in the future. And you still have plenty of that. I mean, I'd argue that in midlife, you've got more potential, more capacity, more ability to develop and grow than you do when you're younger, right? And if you're in your 40s, chances are you won't retire until you're at least 67, going on the current retirement age. It might even be closer to 70 by the time we get there. But this can actually be exciting. This means you've got at least 27 years if you're 40 to learn new skills, develop a whole new career if you want, fulfill your potential in so many ways. So I'm excited about your potential, and I want you to be as well. So I know that creating time and space to figure these things out probably goes against your natural inclination to just do things, to just get on with it. But I promise you, figuring out the criteria for how you want to live and work now and in the future is one of the most useful things that you can do with your time. So I would encourage you to carve out time for this, prioritise this, especially if you're used to just doing things, cracking on with your career, getting everything done in your life for yourself and maybe for everyone else as well. It's going to be really valuable to spend that time looking inwards and getting really honest with yourself. And if your brain is throwing up an objection, but Dana, I don't know what I want, you might be shouting that at me as I'm saying you've just got to figure it out. But I want to challenge that thought, because the more you tell yourself you don't know, the more you're going to stop yourself from exploring what you do know or how you can find out. So what if it just isn't true that you don't know what you want? What if you do know? Maybe you're afraid of finding out because it might mean you have to take action or step out of your comfort zone. But beneath the fear, there might actually be lots that you do know if you just gave yourself the time and space to find it out. So I just want you just to humour me, right? And just start to think, well, what if I did have some ideas? If I could just maybe make 3 guesses for the types of changes that I might want to make, what could they be? What could some theories be for how you might want to live and work? You can throw some different versions around. You don't have to land on something straight away. And in fact, you're less likely to land on the answer if you pressure yourself to come up with that straight away. Try and allow yourself to explore ideas. Maybe the one thing you are clear on is what you don't want. Maybe that's all you can come up with right now. And if so, that's fine. That's actually a great place to start. Just start by writing down everything you don't want and find the opposite, right? What's the flip side or the alternative? And ask yourself if that feels good for you. Maybe it feels too extreme to go to the opposite. So then you can ask yourself, what does something in the middle look like? The most important thing is you start asking yourself the questions and take time to answer them. Don't put pressure on yourself to have the definitive answer straight away. Like I said, this is about exploration. Explore some ideas. This is actually one of the first things that I do with my career change coaching clients. I provide them with structured support so that they can really answer these questions and get clear on what I like to call their life first criteria. This is the set of criteria that's going to give you the guidance, the parameters, a framework for how you can make decisions about your next chapter. And it's the first step in my proven life first career method that helps you make decisions so you can secure that new job and start living differently. And I'll share more about that in future episodes. So that's all for today, and I hope you can use this as an opportunity to start asking yourself some questions and allow yourself to come up with some different ideas and just explore what you might want and need in this next chapter. Thank you so much for joining me on the Career Change Studio, and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Bye for now. And if you want to start making changes to your working life, come and talk to me. You can book a free consultation with me where we'll talk about your personal situation, what's really holding you back, and what you can do differently to start making changes. I'll let you know what type of career change coaching is going to help you, and you can ask me any questions about your personal situation or about my proven process, the Life First Career Method, a method that helps people like you change your career so that you can change your life. Just visit my website, danastevens.com. That's DANASTEVENS.com, and click on the link to book a consultation. Or you can find the link in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure you get your weekly fix of inspiration and career change guidance by clicking follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to rate and review the podcast, that would really help me get this in front of people who also might be feeling stuck and lost, so I'd really appreciate your help. And if you know anyone, friends, family, even colleagues, who might be thinking about changing careers, please do share this podcast with them. You might just be the person that helps them change their lives for the better.